Getting your sound right on stage usually means dealing with heavy gear that practically requires a forklift, but this little box takes a slightly different approach. When you pick it up by those rubber-coated handles, you notice right away that it manages to feel remarkably solid without completely destroying your lower back. Now, it is still a proper wooden cabinet made from a tough birch and poplar laminate, so it's not a featherweight toy, but the weight distribution just makes sense when you are lugging it from the trunk to the stage. Honestly, the textured Duraflex finish on the outside feels like it can take a serious beating in the back of a van, without looking like it survived a Warzone 5 minutes out of the box. What stands out once you get it plugged in and firing is how clean the throw actually is. Vocals cut right through the mix without needing to crank the gain into dangerous territory, and the coverage pattern is wide enough that performers can step a couple of feet to the left or right without losing the high end. That 90 by 50 degree horn does a surprisingly good job, whether the cabinet is lying flat on the floor as a wedge or sitting upright on a pole. Speaking of mounting, the dual-angle pole socket is a lifesaver when you are trying to aim sound down at a seated crowd instead of blasting it over their heads. Power-wise, it handles 300 watts continuous and can push up to 1200 watts at its peak, which means it gets plenty loud for small to medium venues, or even as a dedicated studio monitoring setup. It uses standard NL2 and quarter-inch combo jacks on the back, keeping things straightforward and reliable. You do have to keep in mind that, as a passive unit, it relies entirely on an external amp to do the heavy lifting, so you cannot just plug a mic straight into it and walk away. But pair it up with a proper subwoofer like the matching 18-inch or the 25 model from the same family, and suddenly the whole room fills out with a deep, chest-thumping low end that rounds out the clarity coming from the 12-inch woofer. Looking at the front, the 16-gauge steel grille offers serious protection against rogue mic stands or clumsy bandmates, while still keeping a low profile that stays completely out of the way of audience sightlines. Sure, carrying around passive wedges means dealing with extra speaker cables and rack gear, which might turn off anyone who just wants a simple all-in-one powered setup. But for anyone running a traditional outboard rig who needs reliable, crystal-clear projection night after night, this thing just gets the job done without any fuss.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.